All right, so welcome to Mozilla Open Leaders, Open Projects. Abby's here, and I'm here, and Dave will be joining us. He had some he's here. Hi, Dave.
Hi, everyone.
I just saw you pop up. So we're in week 12, which is a Build for Understanding, and this is our feedback workshop, the Sprint for Internet Health, and our final presentations. So for those of you who have just joined us, please make sure you put down the name of your project and your names so that we can make sure that we know you want to present. A reminder of the community participation guidelines. Be respectful, honest, inclusive, and accommodating, especially because we're, giving feedback during this session. So you want to be open and honest, but also respectful of other people. Do not attack, demean, disrupt, harass, or threaten others. And if that does happen, which hopefully it won't, there's reporting info at the top of the Google Doc, or just let Dave or Abby or I know, please. Okay, so giving effective feedback.
Heather, I think you might be in the doc from last week. So I put the notes in the chat.
Thank you.
No worries. But we are in our final demo week. So I'm glad all of you have shown up with your demos ready to go. And we do have a Friends of Mozilla section. So while Heather navigates over there, you can thank people that have helped you over the past 14 weeks, or people that have shown up for the sprint today even. And there's a few people thanking here, and a few people, they're still writing their thanks. So Dave or Heather, I'll let you take it away.
Sorry about that. Dave, do you wanna jump in?
Yeah, sure. Are we just reading through the thanks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got a number of links here with like MakerBay, Publication Studio, PortlandSchools.org, a number of folks, thanking their mentors, someone that helps with their Git page, people thanking me and Heather. I think that's Abby. People thanking Abby. Cool. And then some more shout outs to various mentors. So you keep adding those in there. Always nice to say thanks. I'd like to thank all of the mentees and mentors that are out there. You guys have been pretty awesome in this cohort. So I'll type that in there in a second. So I think, like, if you see right below here, if you haven't yet, you're able to sign up for a demo slot. And I see a number of different projects have done that. So if you haven't yet and you are hoping to present, share your project, demo your project, just kind of follow the format down below. And we will pretty much go in the order that they are listed. Abby, can you remind me of the kind of amount of time that each project has to share?
We've told everyone 2 minutes each, plus like some time for questions and answers. Yes, try to stick to that. We have a busier call today.
Cool. So when it's your turn, just try to keep it to 2 minutes. Everyone else, feel free to plug in questions, comments. And I think we're ready to get started. It looks like our first presentation will be Octohack from Claire and Elias. So we will turn it over to you two.
They're my mentees, so I just got to say, go, go, go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So we are Claire and Elias, and we are here to present you Octohack, our project. So what is Octohack? Octohack aims to create a community of volunteer citizens and organizations to bring science and critical thinking to kids through creative workshops. And why? Because we think that science is a fun and creative activity, and we want to share this vision. And we believe also that participating into such workshop could lead to more curious citizen, and somehow that curious tomorrows are better tomorrow. So in practice, I mean, how does it look like? So I will share you the screen to see this platform. So online, Octohack is a platform. So, and it has like two main poles. So on the one side, you have the workshop. So it provides creative content for workshop, and it enables any volunteer to easily access some ready-made activity. And on the other side of the workshop, on the other side of the platform, so it's aimed to build to help the community to come together. So it's any kids, organization, and volunteer can easily come and join and see what's happened around in their city, and also co-organize a workshop. So I will come back, I think. Yeah, so you could ask me, why does the internet needs another platform, a workshop platform? Because we want to really focus on counterbalancing the unfair distribution of such events, both geographically, so in non-urban place, but also socially, so in non-privileged background. And we also like how we will do this by taking advantage of the energy and the skill of any willful individual eager to share. So like you maybe. So in this sense, this project belongs to a much wider movement, which is the open education movement, which aims at making traditional education practice more like diversified, more free, more participative, and more fresh. So to wrap it up, Octohack is an emerging initiative, and today we just launched this beta platform, and we would be super glad to hear from you. So any feedback, comments, or contact is really welcome. Also, it's an open project, so you can come and join. So maybe you have an idea for a workshop, or maybe you know an interested organization, or maybe you just want to help and you don't know how. So you can reach us by email, to look at our website or GitHub. We'll be very glad to guide you for more. And so, yeah, so I think we can thank you for your attention, and looking forward to the next steps. Ciao.
Thank you so much, Claire. Nice job of going over everything. And I think there are some comments and questions. Abby, we're going to go over those now, or are we just going to keep moving on?
We have time to go over them now, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So Dave asked if there was a target age for the workshops.
Oh, yeah. So the target age is like, it's 10, 18, let's say. I mean, it can be a bit more, like even 8 would be fine. Yeah. I could also look the...
And I second Abby's on. I love that you're getting the hands-on engagement, because a lot of times with those online classes, you don't get the active focus with the students in a room. So
yeah.
All right. So looks like Nick's asking a question. Then we'll move on. What's the progression from one workshop to the next? So is there like a building blocks with it?
So there is for each workshop. So on the content part of the platform, we will have tag of difficulty, and they could have also a sequence indeed of workshops. So like, this is the introduction, you need this workshop to do the next one. But on the other side, which is more like connect the community together to organize, co-organize, it will be quite free. The people, like the volunteer and the organization, can even just join like a workshop happening and not take the content we propose. So this side is free, but on our side we will make some.
Great, thank you again. All right, so I think we're gonna move on to movement analysis code for everyone. Demetria Blana.
Hi, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so hi, I'm Dimitra, and first I would like to thank everyone involved in the Mozilla Open Leaders Program, because it's been a fantastic 14 weeks. I've learned so much, and I don't think I've been able to do this without you, so thank you. My project is about developing an online platform for sharing movement analysis code and resources. And I should say that I'm doing this with support from CMAS, which is the Clinical Movement Analysis Society of the UK and Ireland. So first, what do we mean by movement analysis? This is the study and measurement of how people move, which we do for various reasons, such as to improve sporting performance, or even to create animated films. But the reason I'm mostly interested in it is its use in the clinic. So in the clinic, movement analysis can help diagnose a health problem that results in abnormal movement, for example, after an accident or a stroke. And it can also help us design a solution, which could be based on technology or some kind of exercise program. And now the equipment that we use in movement analysis in labs come with their own software, but to get the most out of the measurements we take, we need to write some computer code to do more complex calculations or to process repeated tasks, avoid errors. And right now, in the different movement analysis labs, everyone is developing this code on their own. And as many of us have similar interests, there's probably a lot of reinventing the wheel, which is a shame because we could be making progress a lot more quickly by building on other people's code instead of starting from zero every time. So that's where this new platform comes in. We aim to bring everyone interested in movement analysis together to share code and expertise that exists in the community. Now, the link to the platform is in the notes, and we already have quite a bit of information there. We have a mailing list that you can sign up to receive updates. We have Slack for chatting. We already have some code and a few contributors. And I have to say that the project has had a very positive response from the movement analysis community. And just to be clear, you do not need to know about movement analysis to contribute. So for example, if you know how to code, you can help us improve our code and improve the way we document code, because a lot of us don't have any training in writing code. Or for example, if you know about media, you can help us create tutorials that are based on audio or video instead of just text. So no matter what your skills are, please have a look around our platform and contribute in any way you like. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dimitra. That's really cool. We're going to give a couple of little time here for people to maybe add some questions or comments down at the bottom. Abby just joined your Slack.
Thank you, Abby.
Give another maybe. Does anybody else have some comments? Okay, it looks like Theo's got something coming in here. Nice. So everything was real clear and a great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to verbalize a question or a comment real quick, you can do that as well. Wow, plus 100. Awesome. Well, if you end up thinking of anything in the question or comment section, feel free to drop it in there. I think, oh, and Abby's saying great to hear some positive responses from the existing community. So very well done. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing. We're gonna move to Nick and Chris with Civic Archipelago.
All right, I'm here. Is Chris here?
Yeah. Hey.
So we're gonna give a tag team presentation. One of us can share a screen of the website as well. So maybe you set up to do that, Chris?
Let's see if Zoom will cooperate with my limit.
I can share a screen. I'll share the screen. Where is it? Okay, so we are working on an education project as well. So Chris and I are involved in the civic tech movement, and in civic tech, building apps and projects for civic systems is kind of the easy part, but finding people with the right skills to keep the project going and make sure it actually helps people is much harder. So in our movement, which is heavily connected to the Code for America network, we've seen a shift in focus from like project development to people development and skill sharing. And we got involved in the movement because we believe a lot in the power of active citizenship. So the high-tech sort of 21st century governance models that are emerging from the civic tech movement, all of them depend on ordinary people sort of relearning these civic skills that have been lost in the consumer era and preparing them for what we're now entering is sort of like the maker era again. So how can we get more people to become civic makers is our challenge. Maine is a really challenging place to promote civic tech. We're a really small, spread out, new technology, including broadband, is pretty unevenly distributed here, but making things locally and doing it ourselves is really ingrained in our culture. So our tiny communities all have their own character and they benefit from unusually high levels of civic engagement and ingenuity, but they're also relatively isolated from each other and the rest of the world. So we started working on a prototype.
And so instead of just continuing to work on the civic tech projects with the same handful of people in our town of Portland, we had a vision where ordinary folks around our state and beyond could exchange and develop civic skills as well as promote their unique and innovative homegrown systems. And we wanted to build something that was flexible, so you don't need to know JavaScript and you don't need to have a MacBook in order to participate, and also flexible in terms of community. You should be able to do it by yourself and you should be able to do it with a group. We want to enable people to learn by helping others, and we want to grow a network of learners and leaders to support self-directed community-based learning. So for our prototype, we're building this website, and it's showing off right now, where you can create a learner profile, kind of similar to a character sheet in Dungeons and Dragons, and you can try out a collection of civic challenges. And that's the page Nick is on right now. These are kind of the examples of the different challenges.
So our vision is that Civic Archipelago is a toolkit and a network that helps people move towards more self-reliant learning and autonomy as social impact, change makers, etc. We think that building civic capacity and a culture of active citizenship allows for a higher level of decentralization and complexity in civic life and systems, and that's what's going to help communities weather the big challenges of the 21st century. So our questions driving us are sort of, what if everybody was a civic superhero? What would you make for your community? And what would a whole city of makers look like? And then we have some calls to action that Chris can tell you about.
Yeah, so if you're interested in learning more or talking to us, you can visit the website, which we will post a link to in Slack. It's just like a Wix website, and we have a little URL for that. We made a little Facebook page. You can watch our GitHub repo, where we will kind of be uploading our more official version of the site when we get that in development, and check in with us during the Mozilla Global Sprint, and we'll release some details on that too once we figure out where we're doing it.
Yep, this is bit.do/Civic Archipelago for now until we get our domain set up, and we have a Gitter chat for our sprint event, but we don't know exactly where it's going to be or etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Chris. That it's impressive. It was, Abby said, super interesting to hear about the move from project to people development. There's +1 on that. I liked the term civic makers, and I also think it seems like you've really investigated your area and know what your community would need and what they would want to use, and you've taken that into consideration when building your project, which is awesome. And Abby liked the D&D character sheet and the learner profile. Let's see. Any plans to scale outside of Maine?
Well, actually, my friend in Hong Kong kind of already hired me to do something similar with their makerspace in Hong Kong, because they're having the same problem where they have a lot of people with technical skills over there, but they're trying to do social impact projects and they need more soft skills development. So we started to think of a framework for soft skills development for members of a makerspace, which, go figure, is really similar to sort of this framework that we're trying to make for training people in civic tech skills, which most people assume is just programming, but it's really not. That's only maybe 25% of the civic tech skills. So we're finding definitely some people around the world that are interested in this. And I'm hearing some similar projects today. So I'm interested for our sprint event maybe to connect with other people working in open education projects, particularly experiential learning and challenge-based stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, somebody said they would. It might have been Kristen said she's happy to scale it to New York if you wanted it there too.
Beta NYC, the Brigade of Code for America in New York, actually created a Civic Tech 101 curriculum, a couple of units about sort of data, open data. So that's something that's already out there in New York as well, which is super cool. Noel Hidalgo at Beta NYC.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Once again, great project. And I do see some overlap in some of the other ones. So hopefully you guys can get together and work that out. So now we're moving to Chromosome JS. Angel?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear, or just hear me? Okay, cool. Can you see my screen? I hope so. If not, I will talk like you are seeing my screen. But yeah, this is Chromosome JS, and this is Angel. I have been promoting this project as an open source community, but where does Chromosome JS start? So basically, during my last year of university, I was doing my thesis, and I needed to do some kind of optimization problem. And by Googling a little bit and researching, I end up finding the word genetic algorithms. And well, for those who doesn't know what is a genetic algorithm, is a meta-heuristic. So it's basically a searching algorithm, but it can be also classified as artificial intelligence. But when you Google about it, you just see crossover, mutation, and you start wondering like, okay, how does my code have babies? Who is the predator? Who is the environment? How is it moving? And well, it took me a lot of time to realize what is this. So I basically created the Chromosome JS to help people that is struggling with the same problems as I did in the past. So basically what I try to do is a framework, JavaScript framework, of course, with TypeScript that contains a lot of utilities. For example, for doing crossover, mutation, selection, and also a framework that allow people that don't know how to code too much to run it by its own. But you may wonder, okay, we don't know what is a genetic algorithm, and we also don't know how to contribute to this. So I think that one of the main parts of Chromosome JS is to educate people into what is a genetic algorithms by a series of posts and maybe talks as well, and generate content through people. And that's why we have different ways that you can contribute to Chromosome JS. So if you are non-techie or you have knowledge also in genetic algorithms, you can do proofreading of documentation. You can write a blog post or documentation about genetic algorithms and how to use the library. Or, well, if you know about genetic algorithms, you can propose, hey, it would be great to have this utility here because I need it for my project or someone will need it. And then is when the techies will come and will try to improve the code base that we have, add these utility functions, and optimize the framework to be a little bit faster when we are running. I mean, we are talking that genetic algorithms are very hard. It needs a lot of computation to give results. And last but not least, I think that when we are transmitting information to people, it's very important to have visuals to explain concepts that even with words feel very complicated. So if there is people that love design, they can try to improve visuals or even create a logo. We don't have currently a logo. And what is in place is we have a API documentation around here. I also explain how to contribute there. You have a link to the GitHub. There is right now it's a work in progress, and during this month sprint, I'm going to work into having more examples and probably a blog post about what is genetic algorithms. So I also added some vocabulary for those who couldn't follow my talk very well. And yes, I also have a guitar, even though I'm not totally sure how is it going to be used or not. I think that the easier way is to contact through issues in GitHub, so all the community can follow it. And yes, this is Chromosome JS for you guys.
Nice, Angel. This is a super cool project and a really great presentation.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have some comments down below. Charles Darwin approves. Alex seconded the great presentation. And Abby really likes genetic algorithms. So, and she's glad that you're democratizing this knowledge. We do have a question there asking for the Gitter. So maybe when you have a chance, you might be able to drop in.
I will answer very fast. If you go to the GitHub project, I think that the link is on the open leaders, or also is in the documentation. There is a button on top to go to the Gitter directly.
All right, cool. Does anybody else out there have any questions or comments that they'd want to verbalize real quick or type into the notes? All right. Well, Angel, thanks so much for sharing your project.
Thank you for you guys for giving the chance in Open Leads.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's super interesting. We're gonna move on now to Linda with Code Buddies Connect. So whenever you're ready, you can take the mic.
Hi, I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Linda. Before I start, I want to thank all the contributors who worked on Code Buddies so far, and Adam, my mentor from this cohort, as well as the program itself. Yeah, so Code Buddies is a open source project that I started a few years ago when I was learning to code and found that screen sharing in the Google Hangout and walking through a tutorial together was really helpful for speeding up my learning. So I wanted to create an environment where other people would feel free to find study partners wherever they were, even if they weren't living per se close to a tech hub, to find mentors and study partners. So this project is kind of already has been ongoing for a few years with quite a lot of contributors, and a lot of release notes as well, with a pretty active Slack community where people have given each other a lot of advice and answered each other programming questions, kind of out of their free will and their free generosity. And the platform lets people schedule times to study together. But the thing I was noticing was that a lot of people who joined either Slack or signed up on the website were too shy to actually ask for help. There were some very, not shy people, but also people who kind of were looking for mentors or an accountability partner, but didn't want to ask their question in the channel of what seemed like a lot of people. So a few months ago, I started this kind of Google form to try to gather, anonymous entries of, hey, what are you looking for this week? What skills can you help others with? And what skills are you trying to improve? And I collected this form of a bunch of different results that I then manually emailed to people together, and if I thought they would be a good match for each other. And this was very time consuming. So I realized I needed to automate this, and I created this GitHub repo called CB Connect, Code Buddies Connect, which has these wonderful contributors who've been a part of the Code Buddies community, who started contributing. And we have a Discord channel, which we are using a set of Slacks to bypass the 10,000 history free plan limit. And the mission of Code Buddies Connect is to try to help the shyer people who've joined the community a chance to state what they're looking for. And I can show you a quick demo. So you apply your maybe looking for one of 6 categories: accountability partner. You might be willing to mentor someone, or you're looking for a mentor, or you're looking for an open source project to contribute to. And then you type your name and intro of yourself and what you're looking for. I'm going to type ASD right now. And then you type in your email and your your time zone. And from there, when you log in, you can kind of see who else is looking for the same thing in a particular category and request to be matched with them, at which point a volunteer admin will match you two together. We're thinking like once every week. Yeah, so that's the state of the project right now. As you can see, it's not live yet, but we're like kind of in the middle of building out the features. It's a pretty wonderful community of kind of people around the contributors are from kind of different like nationalities right now. And in terms of like help that we need, people who are interested in contributing on JavaScript and React issues, as well as people who would be interested in partnering or like being a beta tester for becoming one of the first people matched would be great. And yeah, thank you for listening. I'm excited to kind of finish up this project.
The comments so far are really good, Linda. Jason said it's such a cool project, and Abby, yay mentorship, and yay buddies. Love how you frame this app as helping the Shire people. I love that how it evolved from, you know, where you needed something, so you made something that would work for you, and then you realized some people weren't asking for help, and so now you're putting that part in. It's great, and that you already have lots of people in there helping you. Good job. Chris is a member, but yet to host a hangout. So, so nicely done and great presentation. I really could see everything and fully understand it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you to all the contributors as well.
And I think we're moving on to OpenTron's protocol library. Kristen?
Hello, can you hear us? Yay! Yeah. Okay. Right. Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm Laura. I'm Alice.
I'm Dave.
Right. And we are part of the team at OpenTrons. I am gonna screen share with you guys really quickly because we have some stuff we want to show you. So you can find a lot of links to our stuff in the doc. So we just want to give a very quick overview of OpenTrons. So we sort of exist at the intersection of open hardware, open software, open science, and we're trying to build a community around our small but growing platform. And so for us, we frame the problem as we're centered around trying to help people automate biology experiments. But biology is difficult to engineer. I'm going to move this out of the way. Lab techniques are irreproducible, and the tools and understanding required to study and work with biology are still available to only an elite few who have expert knowledge. So our vision has been to design an accessible, collaborative, and open platform that encourages the discovery, creation, contribution, and sharing of automated scientific workflows. So we're building open source, low cost, easy to use robots, hardware and software for both designing and performing biology experiments. We're pairing that with our protocol library. So that's the library of automated methods that anyone can contribute to, access, or learn from. And we're building up a community of co-developers, including scientists, hackers, designers, and more. And I have this subnote here, P.S. We've been working on this for 4+ years, and we're still trying to figure it out. So we still need lots of help and lots of feedback. So our protocol library front end is at protocols.opentrons.com. This is a less intimidating interface to learn about what we're doing, so you can learn about what's possible on the platform and discover the community co-developed workflows that we have in a less intimidating interface. And I'm going to pass it over to Laura, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the other stuff we have going on.
Yeah, so our backend for the protocol library is actually on GitHub, and it's completely public, so anyone who wants to contribute any protocol workflow would be able to do so by opening a pull request. And you can follow our API, which is at docs.opentrons.com, to kind of help you figure out how you would create a proper protocol that's supported on our system. So how can you get involved? We're actually having a hackathon on May 10th to 11th, and yay, you should come if you can. We have people who will be on site and also will be supporting people remote. So if you're interested, either whether you're in New York or not, you are completely welcome to sign up. We'll be having open issues tagged as MozSprint on our GitHub, and obviously we need you. So even if you can't make it during the dates that we have, we would love reviews, comments, and feedback on anything that we have on our GitHub, content contributions, protocol contributions, and anything else that you could think of that would be super cool. And here's a little bit more on our resources. So you can go to our website, which is opentrons.com, protocol library, our GitHub, and these are all linked in the presentation doc. And then you can check out our API and our blog for other customers who have worked on super cool things. And yeah.
So yeah, we've had such a great time over the last 15 weeks being a part of this. We've learned so much and been able to question a lot of our own assumptions as a company, as a group that's building a community, thinking very critically about how to make it more inclusive. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be involved in this. Thanks especially to our mentor, Jason, and our experts, Daniela and Andre, and the entire Moz Open Leaders team for organizing this. And these are just some of the members of our community. So we hope that we can add your pictures to collages like this soon. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much for sharing. This is a really super cool project. I've been interested in it since I saw it initially. Jason dropped in a robot symbol. Yes, I had a question about the local hackathon, so got the address in there. Nice, and I put in a little thing about Gosh, and it looks like you guys are linked in and connected with them, so that's super awesome. Other folks on the call, if you're not familiar, it's the Gathering for Open Science Hardware, so if you're into open science hardware, check out that site, check out the forum. There's a lot of cool things going on globally. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, thoughts for the OpenTrons project? Okay, well,
we're available for questions anytime. So just, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a super great project. Keep up the good work and a great presentation. Cool. We are going to pass it along to Theo with Young Accessibility Leaders. So you can take it from here.
Hey guys, can you hear me loud and clear? Good, great. I'm going to share my screen. So, yeah. My project is Young Accessibility Leaders. It's an open curriculum on assistive technology for middle and high school students. So let's try picking that apart bit by bit. First of all, assistive technology is all the devices people with disabilities use to navigate everyday life. So this curriculum, which is intended for subjects such as IT, technology, robotics clubs, and so on, it's based on hands-on accessibility-related projects, such as, for example, a smart doorbell for people with hearing disabilities or a basic mouse stabilizer for people with essential tremor. It also includes an introductory course on disability and accessibility, teachers' guides, and site activities. These are all made available for free to teachers worldwide on our GitHub. There's also a wiki with further information and a case study. And at the moment, I'm trying to build a contributors community with educators, developers, people with disabilities, and disability professionals. However, you can contribute even if you're not any of those, because we also need help with captions, alt texts, and so on. So our goals. At first, we're offering a resource for educators who want to teach about disability and accessibility. We're also trying to inspire students to use their tech knowledge for community engagement. And lastly, we want to connect educators with other contributors and organizations in their area or, worldwide. During Mozilla Open Leader 7, I created a GitHub repo and a wiki for the materials. I also uploaded community contribution guidelines. And I've been recruiting contributors from a diverse background, from academia to disability rights advocacy. And also, I've been translating and uploading some of the materials with the help of my contributors. So, lastly, for the Sprint for Internet Health, I'm going to be holding a workshop at the 4th EKTC conference in the 11th of May in Athens College, Greece. The workshop will be about designing and implementing a course on assistive technology in secondary education. The goals are going to be to get the word on the project out, to attract contributors from the Greek educational community, and to raise awareness on accessibility in Greek schools. Thank you, everyone, and if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them.
Sorry, I'm really impressed, and I didn't know about your project. I hadn't been in a small group with you. So as a person that teaches future teachers, I can definitely see how this would be important, and I will be sending some of them your way. Abe also said, really glad to see this project, such an important topic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I wish I could come to Greece next week and come to your conference with you. Yeah. All right, so if anybody has any other questions, they'll add them in later. I don't see anybody right now, but yeah, this is a really important project, and it's really hard to find tools like this, especially organized. So thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
And thanks everyone. I'm sorry.
No.
I just wanted to thank everyone on the on this cohort and the instructors and my mentor. Thank you very much, and I hope we work together in the future as well.
And I think we're going to move to South Africa. So sorry. Yeah, I'm going to let you. I just didn't say it right. I'm sorry. So, Miriam?
Yes.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Africa? Can you say the name of your project?
Is South Africa, Social Cart Africa.
There we go.
Read it, yeah. So South Africa is a collection of social entrepreneurship stories by African for Africans. So I want to define social entrepreneurship for all of you. Like a lot of people don't agree, but most of them say that a social business is a business that aims to resolve a social issue while engaging in commercial activities, preferably using innovation while doing so. So what is the problem? So in Africa, there is a lack of centralized information about social entrepreneurship, resulting in a lack of visibility that really hinders the development of the sector. So people looking for information with time, efforts, and resources that they might not have. And I think it's really important for Africa future and for it to develop, to have information pertaining to social businesses open to all interested parties. And as social entrepreneurship is a sector that inspires people to do good, I want to take the opportunity and make it so it's more than a listing of numbers, but also a listing of stories, of journeys, and herders' flock. So that's why I imagined South Africa, which will be a platform that will be used to document startup stories on entrepreneurship and access to resources that could lead to the creation of interactive forum platform, allowing social African entrepreneurship to create synergies. So that the platform will be used by anyone interested in social entrepreneurship in Africa, but would primarily be tailored to establish, it would be primarily for establishing social entrepreneur in the continent, as well as the main stakeholder of the sector, investor, financial institution, foundation, development institution, incubator, researcher. So it will be a mapping of Africa's social entrepreneurship scene its victories, its losses recounted by African for African. So what I plan to do is through text, I will provide a mapping of all stakeholders in the social entrepreneurship scene in Africa. There will be a database of resources, a database for narratives that will focus on drive and motivation of the social business owners, the hurdles they encountered to set up a business, and the ways they use it to go past them, and also other issues dependent on the country, such as gender issues or stereotype encountered. Also, I would like to add any project that the social business owners will have going on, such as crowdfunding projects. So after I talked with my mentor and various actors in the social entrepreneurship scene in Morocco, I decided that my approach would be to develop a database based on a custom framework through a website, and this online portal will allow users to log in and share our information by text. And by doing that, they make sure they are in control of their narrative. We will then help them to translate if there's any need for that, because the website would be in English and not African country have English as official language. And we'll also help them portray the story of their social business and its impact to the best of our ability. So, however, at a later stage, interviews with registered startup will be undertaken in order to gather more stories and information. I hope, like in the future, to be able to do videos, but for the time being, my recounting of stories will be only through text. So only then will the company profile be visible to users. So inside it will be like an e-commerce website where you can browse social businesses in search of stories. And aside from that, there will be separate part for all the resource info. So this last month, I worked with my mentor on my logo, which I'm very, very proud of. I was very humbled by the support when I asked for help for that. So thank you very much for this. So when I began, this was my initial idea to present the social entrepreneurship stories in Africa to the world. But going on, I want the social entrepreneurship in Africa to see each other. So I really, really want to extend on the creating synergy between businesses part. I really want to focus on it at the beginning. So I also want to create a chat between registered businesses who find they have a common denominator and want to cooperate on the website. And as I know that traveling between African countries is very difficult, which makes creating synergies between social businesses difficult also. I want to help with that by making the social businesses add their schedule to their page on the website. So social businesses who attend the same event, for example, can meet and share insights, and they can further their bond in this way. So I still need a lot of help and a lot of feedbacks, although my mentor has been fantastic. Even though I'm not a tech person, so I'm sure I've driven him nuts in the meanwhile during all these 14 weeks. So yeah, so I have all my info on the Cohort C panel demos. So if someone wants to drop a message or a question, I'm always available. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Miriam. This is a really cool project. We have some comments down below here. Abby loves to focus on collecting stories, and Heather agrees with that. Julieta dropped in a link to Africa OSH, which is Africa Open Science and Hardware. There's a lot of great startup stories there. So another place to look, I +1 it because it is a really great initiative to get linked into and to connect with.
Thank you. And like, if you have any question, anything, like just drop me a message. I'll be very happy just to chat. Like, don't be shy. I don't bite.
I mean, just to chime in onto that, noting a couple of challenges that we experienced with Miriam trying to put up all this together. We figured out that she's from a non-tech background, and bringing all together the database and the system that she wanted to curate all these stories, that's actually one of the challenges we kind of faced. So we want to put it out to everyone in the group that in case you are really an expert in developing or designing databases or systems where you could curate information, we would really love to get your expert opinion and see how we could collaborate to develop the project forward. I mean, you could leave a comment to Miriam and then we can follow up with you later on. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely leave a comment in there. And Miriam also included her email contact at the top there as well. So I'm sure another good way to get in touch with her. Cool. So we are going to move on to Sandra with Learning Wikibase. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, then I will share my screen. Good. Does it work? Yes. So my name is Sandra, and I have a background around Wikimedia, so my project was around Wikibase. Wikibase is the software which powers Wikidata. Internet Health Report featured Wikidata. Wikidata is the big open knowledge base behind Wikipedia, or has also given data to voice assistants or various search engines. And Wikibase is basically the software you can use to build your own knowledge base. And also in the future, the vision is to be able to connect different knowledge bases with each other and federate these knowledge bases. And what I did is that I noticed there's a smaller community starting around Wikibase the last years. And these are people who are involved in MediaWiki or people who have a MediaWiki background, a lot of research, scientists, librarians, basically a lot of people who have background in data sets they want to deal with, they want to query it and visualize it. And started with Wikibase, and it was quite a challenge to use the software, to install it, to maintain it, to figure out how it works. And so I decided to do a project around this with this program. And my result is the website or the Git page, learningwikibase.com. And learningwikibase.com should help you in learning how to launch a Wikibase instance, how to manage the software, and also should be able to connect people with each other. For example, the Git page provides installation hints. I put it from a collection of different other sources which are floating around in GitHub, in MediaWiki web pages, in the Wikimedia universe. I also added videos to it in screencasts so that people can easier see what they're doing, what they should do. And what I also did is, because there's one channel where the community is, it's the Wikibase Telegram group, I also added FAQs from this group so that people can actually, people who already ask questions can find the right answers to it. And it's really easy to contribute to it because it's a Git page, it's connected to the Git repo, and here you can find all the different sections I have on the website. You can edit it, you can find how to contribute. You can also, with the issue tracker, work on issues I already set up. You can also work on proofreading. You can add learning videos. You can add maybe content, blog posts you already find you want to add to this project. And what I also like really much that I also work with some stories around Wikibase, because it's really important to show people what the actual experience is when I work with the software. And I already started with putting 2 stories in the website, 2 use cases I worked with the last year. One of them is an art organization which installed Wikibase as the knowledge base. One other one is FACWID, is a historical project which also installed Wikibase and had a big nice blog post about how to import data. And I think this is a nice way where people can read about other people's experience and compare it with their problems or their challenges, and maybe it will help them to have a nicer and smoother process. Yes, so I would be happy when people could look into it, with helping to pushing the software forward to make it easier to learn how to use the software, to learn to help to developing learning materials, give me feedback. Is it easy to understand or maybe too complicated, which is always a challenge in technical documentation. So I will be really happy to get some support and feedback about it. And I would also to say thank you to everyone who supports me. Also especially Julieta, to my mentor, which has been really a lot, was motivating me, and also Henning, who helped me with creating the Git page and helped me with the whole GitHub setup.
Thank you very much. Great site. There's some comments. Abby says, love Wikidata. Julieta, congrats for the effort. Great project. And also you got 1,000 points for the Wikibase, using cases to help dissemination. And I said it was a really clear website and it looks easy to use. So, and Linda saying great content and great website. So thank you very much.
Oh, hey, Sandra, just a quick one. I'm actually a Wikimedian as well, and I actually realized that there's quite less capacity building around Wikidata, and I was wondering, since you have a fantastic project, have you thought about, requesting some grant from Wikimedia Foundation and do some capacity building around your project? It would really be an impactful project, I guess.
Great idea, because I'm also an employee of Wikimedia. I'm not allowed to get some grants, but every volunteer. So when there are volunteers who want to get involved in this project too, it would be happy. Would be a good thing. Yeah, we totally could connect around this. Yeah, but this is a good thing. So they are also floating. Also, they're also starting to make Wikidata trainings and starting this year to make Wikibase trainings. But to get a bigger reach, it's better to have everything online and share it with more people. Yeah.
That's super funny. I am conscious we are 1 minute over time and we still have 3 projects. So I'm going to encourage you, if you have any more questions for Sandra, just put them in the doc and she can go through those in line. But I think we'll just keep going.
Our next one, Farmers Gear. Sorry. Farmers Gear. Move on.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is Luna from India, and I'm here to present on Farmers Gear. So, actually, the initial stage of the project, like the idea phase, was solidified, and great inputs I got from the previous year most fest, and it turned to be very useful for me to basically start up with Farmers Gear. And then I was very fortunate to be part of this cohort. And also there are a lot of things that I got to improvise in my project. And finally now a small interface has been built. And I've shared over the links on the doc. And also there's a GitHub page where contributors can actually contribute. So what is Farmers Gear is that it is a conceptualized based web game which is going to help farmers and also every layman, like every citizen of a country, to engage in a web based game so that we can simulate and learn how to make our own food at home. So, like the native agricultural practices, and it is being very much localized according to how every nation's food system works. And and for this, I approached a few farmers around in my local area, and a few videos and audios have been also captured from these people, and there are the data set which is yet to be linked over to the particular website there. And with all these stuff which is actually being done, this is later to be migrated towards virtual reality. I actually contribute for A-Frame with WebVR, which is for WebVR. So I just want this project to be made more lively and to be understood more clearly by people who is using it. So I guess virtual reality would be a good option to go on. So um, the main outcome that I got from open leaders, especially the cohort meets, is that how to make the project more structured, and also how to make the roadmap, and also find regular progress over the project. So yeah, and also the best part of the game is that it's going to have multiple levels, and upon each success levels, you would get access to the products from the farmers, where the products will be priced by the farmers. So it's like a ready access. And also later, later if a player feels that they wouldn't like to purchase the product, then they can donate it to some people, like especially those who are beneath the poverty line. And this way it helps in leveraging the economy status of a nation also. So that's the project about. And thanks, David, for helping me throughout. And yeah, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, great work on this project. It's been really cool to see it evolve from MozFest last year up to the present, and the different things you've been doing with it. Abby gave the +1 on that the idea started at MozFest, which is awesome. And Julie also put in a little plug as well there, interested in new ways of connecting to rural populations. So a lot of folks are following it. Great work. I think we'll, so that's from Miriam. Yeah, cool. I think we'll pass it along to the next project here, Aluanda with, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of your project, but whenever you're ready, you can get it started.
Hi, everyone. The name of the project is Luio. I'm surprised you didn't try at least. Can you get me? Can everyone get me? Okay. So Luio is a community literacy initiative which started as a result of 3 friends seeing the digital divide that we have in the nation and thinking, okay, how best can we come up with a way that we can train people and help them to be literate in ICT? Because sometimes people are scared to attend formal trainings because they may be expensive or they don't have the resources to attend them. So what we do as WIO is within the communities, we partner with different organizations and have trainings. So far, from the time we started the Mozilla Open Leaders Program, we've had a training with the University of Zambia. We partnered with them and we conducted a training with an organization called Heart to Heart, where participants were trained in digital literacy. Then we also had another training with an organization called Coupe's Young Women's Network. So this is a network that's trying to empower young women. So what we did for these girls is that we introduced them to the Microsoft Office package. So this training, by the way, was a 1-week bootcamp. So we introduced them to the Microsoft package, and then we also introduced them to basics in HTML. And by the time we were done with the training, by the time we came to the end, the ladies who had participated were able to do a budget for the startup that they are doing, or if they're already in business, they could do that. Then at the same time, they could do a simple website, and then using PowerPoint, they were able to prepare a pitch. So at least from that angle, we showed them how they could use ICT in their day-to-day life. Then there was another program that we worked with. They are called Reach One Child Campaign. So what they want is for schools to help children who are not able to afford school fees. So they help to get those children into school. So the request they had from us is there a way that we can exchange a skill that we can offer to the schools who are getting in these children? Because we can't afford to actually pay for the school fees. But if there was a skill that we can give in return just to appreciate the schools that are taking in these children. So we said, okay, we can take you in a course of software basics, and then from there, you can approach the schools and say, if you take in a child, we can help create a site for you. So we gave them the basics in HTML and CSS. And right now, as we speak, we're working with them to be able to develop and be conversant in developing websites. So they then, the skill that they will offer after we have finished the training, full training, is that they will approach a school and say, if you take in one of our children, we'll offer a website for you. So basically, we are training different organizations, we're training different people in the community. There is no boundary or discrimination to the people we can train. Actually, the ones that we target are the ones who, under normal circumstances, would not be accepted or not find a chance to train. So we go to them and offer these trainings. Then at the same time, we're trying now to see if we can also offer the trainings online for those who cannot be able to physically attend the training. So this is where we're trying to reach out to different trainers and different contributors, if they can be able to help us by contributing resources on our platform. So right now, we do not have a website or anything. They can just contribute on GitHub. And then also, if they would want to offer courses online, then we can have a discussion with them and see how those courses can be, how the trainings can be done, and how we can get people to participate. So basically, those are the things that we would really need. We need trainers. We also need contributors and people who can recommend resources or links to resources that we can use in this training. Because like I mentioned, these trainings are free. They're not getting charged for the trainings they're attending. They are free. So if we can get the resources via open source, it would help us greatly. So that's that about Luyo. I don't know if there are
Okay,
any.
I'm just gonna jump in there before I forget. I'm sorry. Alumanda, I would really love to get in touch with you and help you with a couple of other stuff. What you are sharing is similar to a couple of projects I've worked on last year. So I have a website template that I can share with you that I think you can edit and customize it to your
I think that would
section. Number two, I have a couple of links and resources relating to curriculum development, especially on training young girls in Zambia. So I will share all this in chat privately to you, and I think you can take it from there.
Or Bale, actually, can you put that in the document? And anyone else who has any questions or suggestions, you can put that in the document. But I think we really need to move on because people keep signing up for slots in this call. So we're going to move on to the next person. Sorry, we have to cut questions short, but I made a bad call earlier today. So we're going to keep going.
All right.
Okay,
So we're
for
on
more information, just sharing the Medium article, just for more information in case I missed out anything. Let me just post it on chat.
Yeah, and I see it in the doc. So on to Nirmala with Digital Sense. Thank you so much, Alumanda. We can't hear you, Nirmala. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Could you hear me now?
You're a little bit quiet. Can you?
Could you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Nirmala. So my project is a Digital Sense. It is a digital citizenship project. And this is for the young children and the new users to the internet. I want because we make it here the internet users are more in India, but they are mostly are not known the first time users, so they don't know how to interact with the internet. So they should we wanted to train, like we wanted to tell them how to think critically before using whatever the news they see or whatever the person they wanted to contact and all. So and how to be safe with, because they don't know, they give the passwords and they give the OTPs, whatever it is. So we want them to know how to be safe online and to be responsible, not to pull any others, and not to be criticize others and other all things. So I wanted to create this digital citizenship for in Indian languages, and especially because most of them are not understanding English much easily. And so this I'm making it as a the content also I wanted to make it in Indian context. So that is what this project is about. And I think after joining this program, I've learned how to make a how to work openly, and how to seek the help of the people who are interested in doing it. So now I am making progress towards it. I think I can do it. I will be making it good progress on this. Thank you for helping me to learn all this. Thank you, Abhi. Though I don't had the I didn't get the mentor, but you are making me to help. I have also learned things. I think I'll make it well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your project. All right, so we're going to keep moving on. Mirror projects, developing digital skills for refugees in Dadaab. There's no name on that one. Projects focusing refugees living in Dadaab, Kenya. Did we lose our person?
I see someone with the name user just unmuted themselves, but I can't hear anything. Yeah, we don't hear anything yet. I see you trying.
Yeah, I see two now.
Okay. Okay. We do have one more demo call later today, if you want to try joining that one. Final demo. But yeah, we can't hear you. It's so unfortunate. But this project is focusing on providing digital skills for the refugees living in Dadaab, Kenya. And others can help with content creation and coding and designing the platform of the project. Can you add some links in the doc? That way, if anyone's watching, they can go through and find more info and see where they can contribute. And hopefully I read out enough that people can understand the project and can help you out during this month. But, oh, sorry, we can't actually hear from you. But thank you, everyone. I know we are over time, but I did really quickly want to do a group photo since it's our last call together. So if you want to be in the photo, please unface mute. And Heather and Dave, what should we do in the photo?
I've never done an online group photo like this before, Abby, so I'm gonna throw it back to you.
Abby, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, here, we'll quickly hear from your project then before we do our group photo.
Okay, basically, I wanted to explain about this project. This project is mostly inspired by the fact that I did research last year, December, in the Dadaab refugee camp. And what I was mostly doing is actually researching about those people who already had high-level digital skills in the area. And to my surprise, what I found out was something not that much of what I expected. And this idea has born out of that research. So basically, the project is mostly focusing on introducing digital skills to the Dadaab refugees. Mostly it is focusing on digital literacy, then computer fundamentals. Then after that, if I can introduce 1 or 2 languages, especially JavaScript and Python programming languages, then from there they can go ahead and specialize in whichever language they want or whichever project everybody now is attracted to. So basically, the most important part is that I've seen a lot of problems that are there on the ground. I'm not from that much of a tech background. I started something to do with programming once sometimes back, but I was not so much into it. But I found out that there's a lot of problem that can be solved easily by automating something or creating something by using some lines of code. Then they can solve their problem through that way, and that is what people are mostly lacking. And I think the best way that right now is, I was a bit confused about doing open source project and maybe sharing a lot of things. Most of the time in the project I was floating. I was not that much understanding of what was going on. That has really impacted on me. And I think I don't have now. I have the idea. I have everything that I've written down in my laptop, but still I don't know how to actually put that one into something tangible that people can easily use. And that is what is really dragging me. And I hope people can actually help me in first developing the platform itself and also contributing the content. And maybe that way I can solve this problem that I'm currently into. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm very glad you got the time to share. So, Abby, I'm going to kick it back to you for the photo.
Well, it's just smiling, everyone. What should we do in the photo? Some of the groups did in the past, there's been a dinosaur hands or I don't know. We'll do sparkle fingers?
Yeah.
My other hand is busy taking the photo, so do sparkle fingers. Okay, ready? 3, 2. All right, I got it. So that'll be in the final blog post. It was so great hearing from all of your projects. I'm so sorry we went 20 minutes over. I did not expect that, but I'm glad we had a chance to hear from each and every one of you and just to see the diversity of projects here. It's really exciting. Just for administration stuff, you will be getting an email from either me or Mark Welsh for a final survey and your certificate of completion. So we'll ask you to complete the survey so that we can give you your certificate. We'll be doing that in a couple. We want to ask about that first in there. So go on with your sprint events. We want to hear how it all goes. And we still have the chat open, so you can ask us questions if you ever need help. We're around. So Heather and Dave, do you want to close us off?
It's been good. This is my first time as host. And so there was some little shaky stuff, but hopefully I think we made it through all right. And it was nice to have all of you guys responding to the documents, and it wasn't like crickets every time. So I'm sad that my Wednesday mornings will not have a call with you guys from now on. So thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just echo what Heather said. It's been really cool to hear about all your projects, see them progress over the past 14 weeks, and I look forward to following them and seeing how they progress. So great work, everyone.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.